Hello everyone, welcome to another lesson in Maya 2015. Today we're going to go through the decorative box, which is inside of the Introduction to Maya 2015 handbook through Cybex. So first thing we're going to need to do for any project is to create an actual project folder. So we're going to go to the main menu set, we're going to go to File, we're going to go to Project Window, select that. We're going to need to select New. I'm going to enter the title for the folder. It's going to be called Decorative Box. And the location down here says where this folder is going to be stored at. I've already selected my D drive folder called Maya Projects. That is where all my Maya projects are stored. You can select wherever you want, wherever is where you keep your Maya projects. I'd kind of say you should consolidate all of your Maya projects to one spot on your computer. That way you don't just have them kind of scattered all over the place. Organization is key in everything. So if you look down here, you see that when you create this project folder, it creates a bunch of subfolders inside here. This is where Maya likes to put all of its things you work on inside the program. So your scene files that you work on will be stored underneath your scenes folder. Images are any images rendered. Your source images are what you use for texture maps or image planes. You can have audio clips added in. If you do a play blast, the movies will be exported to your play or to your movies folder. So Maya just has this little system set up, and it works really good. So anyways, hit accept, and we're almost ready to go. We just have to do a couple more things. We have to set the project so that when we go to our project at a later date, we can look up this current project. Also, setting the project makes it to where when we go to do any kind of rendering, Maya will know this is the project we're using, so it'll render out images to the folders specifically that we're working on right now. So we're going to set project. We're going to look for that one we just created, decorative box. Let's say set that. Now we're going to go to Save Scene As, is the last thing we're going to do, and then we're going to be able to jump right in and start working. We'll call this one Decorative Box 01. This is essentially actually saving the file, is what I'm doing now. We create a folder, but if you were to open up the default scene file as is, there would be an empty screen. There wouldn't be anything in there after we've been working. So you actually do have to save a scene file inside the project file. The project file is just giving you a place to store your information. So hit Save As, continue, and now we're ready to start working. Okay, so the decorative box, we're going to use image planes to be able to set up this whole decorative box. There's multiple ways to do image planes. You can have them strapped to a camera. I prefer just to go ahead and create an actual plane, attach the image, and then just use my four panel orthographic views to be able to jump back and forth between those. So we're going to go and create ourselves a Polygon primitive plane, and we're going to open up this little empty box on the side here. We'll create a floating submenu on the side here, so we can specify some things that we want our plane to have. Right now it says width and subdivision heights. We only want one polygon, so we don't need 10 polygons by 10 polygons. That's what this is pretty much saying down here at the bottom. So we're going to dump this down to 1 and 1. And then we're going to go up to the top here, and we'll set the aspect ratio to, let's say, I'm just going to leave these as 1 and 1 for right now, and I'll adjust them later. The book has a lot of fine decimal points to kind of get this stuff all fine-tuned up, but I think that we can kind of eyeball some of this. So we'll go ahead and apply. I'll create our first one here. I can go ahead and enter the values now that the book gives me. We can do that in the X, Y, and Z scales. So if this is going to be my front plane, then I will want to say that this is front, and then the book gives me some values. I'll just go ahead and enter those ones in here for the X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to put those inside the scale. It'll be 4.711, and this will go all the way through. So I'll just copy and paste this all the way through. So Control C and Control V, Control V, and there we go. Okay, so I'm going to go to my 4-panel view so I can make sure that I'm doing the right rotation here, but I can already tell, like, if you know what you're doing, that you can look at this little gizmo here in the bottom left corner, that Z is for depth, Y and X is your up and your side to side. So realistically, if I was to rotate this guy 90 degrees in the X, this should be perfect for my front view. I can go ahead and check my 4-panel. This is my front view right here. This is my side view. This is my top view. So I can tell right away that that is correct. Okay. All right. So now we're going to have to create our side one. So we'll go ahead and create. And, right now I think that we could almost even just duplicate this guy and re-put in some different values. So I'm going to go ahead and just save myself a little time instead of creating another plane and having to reposition it and all that. I'm just going to have this one here selected. I'll hold down Control and press D. That makes it duplicate the object. And you'll see it says, instead of front, it'll say front 1 now. I'll change that to side. And I'm going to rotate that because we know this is the front. If you look down at the bottom here, this is YZ, so that's the side. So I can just rotate it 90 degrees in Y. Now I have my side view here. We're going to have to enter some different values for scale so this stuff lines up. So the next thing I want to do is enter in what the book gives me, which is 4.856 all the way down, 4.856. And I'll just go all the way down here. I'll copy that one here, Control C, Control V, Control V. Okay. Now we're going to go and create the one that's going to be the top-down view. I'll actually go ahead and create that plane just because rotating them and getting it all flattened out, it might just be faster doing it this way. So go to Create, Polygon Primitives. I'm going to go to Plane, open up the submenu. That's still 1-to-1. It's good. Let's go ahead and apply. Close that out. Go to my scale again. And the book gives me 4.28 all the way across for the top down. Okay. So now I have, and I have to name it. So we're going to call this one top. Front, side, top. Do I have 2 of them there? Seems like there's, the only time it will change it to something else is if there's already one there with the same name. So let's check the outliner and see if I have something else called top. Maybe it's because the camera up here is called top. We'll change it to top. Let's see if that works. Not 2. Top. There we go. Okay. So that's probably what the problem was. Okay, so we're ready to go. The next step here is we're going to have to go ahead and actually attach our maps to this so we can actually see our box to work with, because really right now this isn't helpful at all. We just have 4 or 3 interlocking planes, and that doesn't really do anything for us. So to actually attach our shaders, our image planes, we have to create a shader for each one of these maps and then attach the file source image to that shader that is attached to this plane. So we'll go through each one and do each one respectively. We'll open up the hypershade here. It's this little icon down here with the You see the perspective view, and then it's got these three little colors. It's supposed to kind of symbolize your shaders. Anyways, I don't really use this workspace, so I kind of push this all the way down. Okay. Good. Let me take a look here. Yep, I still got those outside here. So I'm going to create my 3 Lamberts. One Lambert for each one of these planes. So I'll create the first one, and I'll call that one top underscore. I'll leave the Lambert. I don't want to mess with the shader name, because if I have the shader selected and I looked over at the attribute editor over here, I may be confusing that top could be the plane top. So leaving the Lambert name in there is to where I don't confuse myself or anyone else who's using my setup in here. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create another one. We're going to call this one side Lambert, and we're going to create one more, and I'm sure you guys can go ahead and guess what this one's going to be. We're going to call this one front Lambert. Perfect. Okay, so here's my front Lambert. So there's 2 different ways we can assign these shaders to these guys. We can select the object, right mouse button onto assign material to selection, and now it is assigned to this object. If you go to the attribute editor and you look over, here's front Lambert, it's been attached, so you can double check that that actually worked. The other way you can do it is you can drag and drop. So if you middle mouse button drag the shader, you can drop it right onto the object. So you select the object here, it says side Lambert, obviously it worked. And we'll go back and do the other way one more time for top Lambert. Okay, so nothing's really changed. It still looks gray. We haven't attached our reference images yet, so really everything looks the same, but things are going to change really quickly here. First we gotta take our source images here, and we gotta put those inside of our source images folder of our project. So I'm going to go to where I stored my source, or where I stored my project, which is underneath the Maya projects. Here's my decorative box. Here's my source images folder, and I'll just drag and drop these guys in here, and I'll just delete them off my desktop because I don't need them there. Okay, get rid of this. Now that I've done that, if you go over to textures, or I'm sorry, well, it should have been any textures. Maybe it just didn't populate yet. It should have populated underneath textures though. Either way, we can find them just the same. So let's go ahead and save this. Just keep things, you know, as you're progressing, you just want to save every 10 or 15 minutes. Okay. So now we're going to select our Lambert. It's the top Lambert. And I'm going to go to its attributes. So this is why I was saying it's good to make sure you see that it says top Lambert here and it doesn't say top from the actual object. I want the Lambert, the shader that's attached to it. You can see that the attributes for the shader say color, transparency, ambient color, incandescence, bump mapping. Really all this stuff down here, just ignore for now. The one attribute we're looking at is color, and we don't need to change the color of this guy. We're going to look at this little checker box in the corner here. If you select that, it allows you to attach a file to this this channel here, this attribute. You can go to File, and now we're going to go to a folder to find where that image is at. And here we see box top, and that's the one we want. So I'm going to go to Open. Okay. So again, nothing's happened. The only reason why you can't see what's happened, because it actually did happen now, is because inside our preview window, or our perspective window that we're looking at here, we don't have texture preview turned on. So if you look at the top here, there's this little ball with checkers on it. That tells you that whether your textures is on or off. Viewable anyways. If we were to render this, even though it's all grayscale right now, the image actually would render out, showing you that this is actually attached to it. But if we click this right here, you can see down here that the top of the box is now indeed viewable. So now we actually have something to work with. So we're going to go through and do the same thing to the other two. So we're going to go to Side Lambert. We're going to check the little checker box. Go to File. Click on the folder. And this is the side one, right? I think it was the side one. Got myself a little confused. Left reference. That would be the side. I'm going to open. Okay. And this one here is front. Okay, good. So I didn't get myself too confused. Alright, so we have our front and our side. Our front is the only left, our side and our top done. So we just have to go to our front Lambert. Let's get some of the stuff out of the way here. Here's our front Lambert. Click the little checker box, go to File, go to Folder, click Front, go to Open. Okay. So let's take a look here. Some things don't quite line up perfectly, and we can adjust that. Okay. So really the only parts that don't quite land up. If you press spacebar, it'll clear out this hypershade. We don't need the hypershade for now, so we're just going to clear that out. I do want this line here to match up with this line over here, and it looks like the bottom's okay, and it looks like the top doesn't quite line up perfectly. So, and if you look at the top-down view, that's definitely not correct. So, let's go ahead and see if we can fix this. I'm sure I can. It won't be a problem. Just have to try a couple different things. First, I'm going to split the screen. Let's check and see if this is my UVs or if it's the shape of my object. So I'm going to click this one here with the little squiggly graph line underneath it in the perspective window so that I have my perspective window up here so I can see what I'm working with. And then I'm going to have a separate window down here that I can actually change into my UV texture editor. So I'm going to go to, so I clicked on the panels drop down. I'm going to go to Panel. I'm going to go to UV Texture Editor. Okay. I'm going to select my first box here, and the UVs for this guy take up the entire texture space, which is exactly what we want. So this one is actually in good shape. Let's take a look at this one. Also the same, and this one. So all three of these are actually using up all the texture space that they're supposed to. So that's great. I need to actually adjust the shape of these planes because they don't actually line up as perfectly as I would like them to line up. The book tells me that it's correct, but I'm not quite 100% satisfied. So I'm going to just finesse this just a teeny bit and see if I can get this looking the way I would like it to look. I want these guys here up just a little bit. Now this kind of lines up the way I wanted it to. Let's look at this box now over here. Okay. Well, it doesn't line up with anything, so I'm going to actually have to change the size of this guy. I'm just going to scale in all directions. So I'm going to grab the middle box here in the middle, and I'm just going to scale that up a little bit. And the sides now match up almost. And I don't know if you guys are catching this. I'm switching back and forth to my mode. So right now I'm in object mode. I hold down right mouse button. I'm going to vertex mode. That allows me to grab these little these little pink things are called vertexes. So if you do a little left mouse button drag over the top of it, it gives you this little marquee box, and then it highlights those ones. It allows me to drag them and adjust them in size. So I'm adjusting them to fit with the edge of my box here. The book didn't seem to quite have it perfect, so I'm going to go ahead and make my own little fine adjustments. Okay. Apparently I have a phone call. Good. The wife got it. Alright, so now my reference images are all set up. I'm at 20 minutes, so I'm going to have to go ahead and stop the video. We're going to pick up next lesson and we'll adjust our image planes and start modeling. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next lesson.